it, put a cat on the list. What should I do? Should I kill it? Yeah.
See, back in the day when we used to play, you wanted to be with me.
That's right.
All right, brother.
That is so right.
Cheers to full circles, new seasons. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome, brother. I feel to close out this year, it was only right to have you on board. Man, I was thinking about how to open this, what will be the intro be, but I realized it's been probably the first moment I sort of knew you and got to know you has been about 17, 18 years, right? And there's been so many seasons of us from getting in trouble together, rolling with the same sort of clique, representing the same color, finding a love for the gym together, you know, in our own ways and together, just seasons of partying and fully sending it when it goes to that world, developing ourselves, online business, family, wedding. So welcome. You know, I think this will be a beautiful episode to showcase who you are. I feel like you bring so much value to the world, but you haven't really had like a platform to speak. So I know that this is just going to be the beginning for you in many ways. That being said, who is Darren Rush? What would you say?
Well, if I can not ramble on too much, but Darren Rush is I'm a fitness coach, father of three, and a husband. And I really, really hold those values close to me, man. Is like all three of them, you know, like being a husband, being a fitness coach and an impact in people's lives, and also being like a stand-up father, bro. So that's how I would wrap it, you know.
What do you reckon makes you different? You know, like there's so many fitness coaches, there's so many dads, there's so many people in this space, just like I'm a coach myself. You're very unique, just like me, and your background, which we're going to dive into, and your upbringing, origin story is very unique. What sets you apart?
What sets me apart? I reckon there's a certain depth that I bring to the game these days, you know, like from energy, from you know, my past experiences, from not being this athlete kind of guy. Like I still don't actually identify as this athlete, even though I'm living the lifestyle of an athlete.
Straight up.
And I feel like, you know, I'm almost that kind of everyday Joe, if you would.
Yeah. Athletes.
Athletes drinking Henny on the podcast. But you know, that's how I kind of see myself, and you know, I want to represent possibility, bro. You know, that you don't have to be, you know, born with these certain things. You can actually build this from just, you know, pure effort and
100%. Show the everyday person what's possible without some sort of like glorified image. Of some
separation of like, you know, I'm not that guy. I don't feel like I'm that guy. You know, I don't feel like I'm that guy most of the time, but I am that guy because I choose to be that guy.
Yeah,
you know?
you do that well, bro. You do that even better than myself. That's a strength of yours, connecting with people at their level, but not almost like owning that level, to boxing yourself in. And I feel like that's a continual journey that I've seen you sort of evolve. Before we go into like your upbringing story, I think a fun, just off the top of my dome, is how we first met. So for me, it would have been high school. Noticing just your fucking Jerry curls, the shit was fucking dripping and it looks fucking solid, right? And I was like, fuck, that guy looks dope, you know? Like he's got solid hair, looks like a fucking BG knockout or Easy E or some shit. And then obviously I started to notice that we were in the same circles, representing the same thing. And I don't know, there was always just an aura. Obviously if we go to like the after ball and the event, something had happened and I just told you I got your back, etc. And it's always been like some sort of pull. What was your first experience with me on your side?
Yeah, man. Like when I saw you, even just around school and man, even in the hood, it was almost the same aura, like that like, man, this guy's like a fresh, like holds his energy well, kind of like he's a fresh gangster. Like that's how I saw it, bro. You know, and I like kind of I like that aura.
That's how we hold ourselves, and I think we reciprocated that.
100%, and I feel like that's honestly why I grew like Jerry curls and shit. Because if you know BG Knockout, like you know, like man, you see that guy, he's just got this aura and this freshness about him. And yeah, bro, that was my first like experience.
I think same with me and my braids, bro, my cornrows.
Yeah, 100%.
Going all the way back, right? So I'm 36, you're 35. So we're talking like 16, 17, 18, 19. We both also, in terms of connection, we both weren't like the generic avatar in our circles, right? Like you probably had your own journey of the need to belong and fit in, that we almost had like a hard route to just blend in. Again, for me, right? Like growing up around our group, Polynesians, gangsters, I'm not poly. I'm the only one who's not, right? In a Tongan Crip gang, you know? So it was a very interesting journey for me, but that was also like a theme of my life. Like I was born in New Zealand, but my family's from Malaysia. I don't fit in with Malaysians or Kiwis, and I'm growing up Americanized. It's always been a thing for me. And how has that been for you? Because you as a half caste, what's your experience been like in belonging and fitting in and validation?
Yeah, I felt the exact same, man. It's like I'm half Tongan and I'm half European, white, Kiwi. And it's almost like, to a certain extent, you can see that one side doesn't accept you. And then you can see, to a certain extent, the other side doesn't accept you. So you start thinking inside your head, well, where do I actually belong, you know? And honestly, I think that's why I found myself in the gangs and shit like that, because they accepted me, you know, in a funny way. And it's like, I always had that like sense of belonging where I was like, two sides don't accept me, but I'm two sides. So who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
And, you know, like, obviously we found our way in the end, but, man, I went through that, you know, a whole bunch.
As you say that, I realized like we didn't have almost like a nationality or ethnicity to attach to. So we attached to a culture and a color.
Yeah.
So we all represented the same culture and the same color and the same mindset, which is interesting. So I found home in the same thing because they thought like me. I didn't identify as a Kiwi, a Malaysian, an Indian, a Polynesian. I identified as a Crip, you know, and they all did too.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, this is nice. I feel like family.
Yeah.
Right. But that also then, you can stay there and sometimes find your whole life there. And that's like a dark path, especially as you get into adulthood and you go into things like having a child and a partner. And it's almost like this trial or this rite of passage to light, right?
Wow.
So for you, your one was very unique because you ended up having your first child at, how old were you?
21.
21. So I'm still not a dad and I'm 36. So 21 was my peak years of darkness in my own way. How was that for you? Tell me a bit about the moment you had your first child, the relationship dynamic you were in, the mindset of, again, belonging. Where the fuck were you at?
Yeah, man. When I had my first child, it was with my my ex, and we were still in the hood, you know. And like I started to realize, like, this is almost the trap of that, you know, belongingness is like, there's nothing like the boys' love, bro. Like, there's nothing like being around the boys and, you know, just being with each other and like being in that vibe and everybody's got each other's backs and, you know, like amongst all the other negative shit, that's, you know, that was what I felt was the best part of that type of shit, you know? And if you stay around that too long and then the negativity does come through, you know, and then you start catching cases and you start, you know, like losing your way in a sense, you kind of put the kid into the mix and you're like, man, what the fuck am I gonna do now? If I carry on down this path and I get like locked up or some shit like that, what's gonna happen? So I've got a family to take care of now. So man, I was lost, and I knew there was one evening, bro, where it was a Tuesday night and we were just like horsing it, like getting drunk. And nobody really fucking cared what we were doing. And then I had that moment like, man, I can't be in this energy anymore. So
Do you remember where it was? Like which spot was it?
Gull's house.
Maliora?
Nah.
Or the Pack and Save one?
It was across from Lovelock.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
The one across from Lovelock.
Tuesday, on a Tuesday
It
afternoon.
was a random Tuesday evening. And
Do you remember who was there?
I can't. I know obviously Goa. I think maybe Cess.
You're probably cracking a can and you had that epiphany.
So man, and it's like, bro, I just looked around and I'm like, fuck, like, I can't do this shit anymore.
And your daughter's born at this point.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah. And then I said, man, I need to take some kind of action ASAP. So I just that night on my it wasn't on my phone, but that night I got home and I booked a one-way ticket to.
What do you
Melbourne.
think? Okay, so this is like a separator, right? Because I believe everyone in the hood or goes through shit has that moment. But instead of having that, usually the response is,
Yeah.
You know, because I've had my own moment. What do you think? Well, what would you put that down to that made you go into that? Is it destiny? Is it fucking God? What is it?
Yeah, it's like a higher signal in a sense, you know, like it was like something, you know, when you download or you feel something, you could say it's the voice of God or like, you know, a higher consciousness dropping you a download. It was like that. And it was like, I knew I had to get out,
Yeah.
you know, because I didn't even think about it. I just knew my ex's family was here.
It was like an awakening moment.
Yeah. And it's like, I have to do this. And then I just did it right on that night. And I didn't even know like what the house situation was in Melbourne. I just said, nah, if I don't make this move now, like I'm gonna lose myself, bro. Because that's what it was. It was fucking Tuesday evening. that's saying enough, you know.
It's crazy. So that would have been 11, 12 for you? 12?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
My one was, because I had my moment too. My one was 2013, neighborhood, drink up, just another ... But it's again, someone tried to take my hat and blind shot me. There's a scar over here. And that was that moment for me. And it wasn't even, so in the moment, it wasn't like a scared or anything. I was like, yeah, cool, this is normal. But I'm like, what the fuck? And not just like, what am I doing? You know? And then it's just like, why? And not like I need to change my life, etc. It's just like, I can see this path goes nowhere. This path is a loop.
Yep.
You know? And I felt, yeah, as you say, voice of God, awakening, whatever. And you would think, right, that it seems like you watch these stories and it's like, and then I found my purpose and it was amazing, but that's just the fucking beginning, right? And then it's like a fucking ride. Some of the hardest moments you'll go through for the next couple of years. So 2012, obviously you would have moved to Melbourne. Was it amazing straight away or did it get a lot darker and stay darker before it got better?
It was amazing in the beginning because everything was new, everything was novel. Man, one of the things I realized was like, and I didn't know this was not a normal thing, was that I was walking through the mall with like my partner and my daughter, and I didn't have to watch my back. And I was like, wow, that was just a natural tendency for me to be like.
I only lost that like 2 years ago, bro. 3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, true. And it was like, it was almost like freedom. It was like, wow, like I can walk around, nobody knows who I am. And I don't have to be like on guard because fuck NZ's just so, especially if you're already caught up in that energy. It's just so unexpected, you know, like you don't know what to expect. You can just be like eating lunch with your family and then, you know. And
there's a certain code where you can't turn it down or else the people will hear about you turn it down like, and then you're going to have to fight your boys about it now. And then it's like, fuck, bro.
And it's this crazy like situation. So it was good in the beginning because I felt that way. But then that relationship turned sour. And then that was my like dark night of the soul.
And to touch on that that's a whole nother tangent, right? Like, because I think like there's so much value you can bring, not just in a hood way, but even in a relationship way. Because we'll start talking about marriage and what makes a great relationship a bit later. Just in summary, how would you summarize why that relationship didn't work?
Yeah, we just weren't aligned, you know. And at 21 with a kid, you kind of just you almost just think, nah, this is how it is. I'll do it for the kid. I don't want my family to break up. But as you mature, you start realizing, man, there were so many red flags. This was so misaligned.
How many years in were you at this point?
Man, like, I think 8, 9.
That's an 8-9 year relationship with a kid on the line. You could so easily think like, I'm just being a bitch. You just got to harden up. This is what adulthood is like. Was that difficult to end that?
Yeah, it was. It was like, because you start, you know, when you hear those things where it's like, oh, you know, people complaining about their wives and it's, oh yeah, that's normal. This is what life is. Yeah. So I thought I was just going through that. And then I just, you know, there was one moment that I said like, fuck, is this really what it is? Like, is this really my life? You know? And then that's what opened up the different possibilities of what could be, you know? But in that, when you're in it, it's like, yeah, fuck, you kind of just trying to ride it for your family and you don't know which voice to follow, you know, like, because there's just so much shit on the line and history and it's very hard to kind of, you know, choose yourself in a moment like that.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy. Yeah. It's like a lot of people are in these situations and it fucking is hard to free yourself or make a decision or a call. and it gets a lot more difficult. Like obviously you'll then talk about the share house and all of that kind of stuff. I'll talk to you in a minute. But it's crazy how all of these things in hindsight were defining moments, right? Like who you are now is because you went through all those things. So you split up with your ex at that time. How does life look like? You're away from all your boys, all your family. You're probably not a fucking millionaire or anything, so you're not sitting on heaps of capital. And you have a daughter. You're probably not feeling like you're showing up as a man or a father. Like what was life like in that season? Like what was that darkness like? It would have been its own different darkness. Yeah,
I think that was the deepest in the dark night of the soul, where like I had to pack up all my stuff, leave from our family house, and then drive to like a share house.
What is a share house? Like what's the what is it?
It's
What are you
a
pulling up
house
to?
where it's like multiple people live there. So it's like
You get your own room?
You get your own room, but then there's like other roommates, and then like there's a shared kitchen, and fuck, I'm not built for that shit. Like
And how old's your daughter? And bringing a daughter. How old's your daughter?
She was like 4 or 5,
Oh,
so she
Jesus.
kind of almost knew what was already going on.
Yeah.
And then going into stuff like a share house and dragging my daughter along, and then she was asking questions like, why are we in this house? Like, who are these people? And I was like, holy shit, like like almost breaking down.
Yeah,
like, fuck,
but you got to stay strong. Eh?
yeah, you can't.
Did you break down when you're not with your daughter?
I think I broke down twice. One, driving my stuff to the house and being like, holy shit, like this is happening. Fuck my life. It felt like my life was over.
Yeah.
You can't see a new beginning in an energy like that. And then the first time she stayed over for the weekend, and then I had to drop her back, and it was the first time that was like, wow, this is like separated living now. And that was like, yeah.
Because now you're alone in it.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
another-
Now I go back to this like house that doesn't feel like home, and my daughter, I'm used to every single day and night with her. And that, yeah, fuck that one.
How long did that season last?
In share houses,
Yeah.
I would say about 9 to 10 months.
Fuck, it's a significant. It's almost like a year of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
life. So what were you doing for work then to start with? And then I'm going to ask like what led you to get out?
Yeah, I was in the kitchen. I started at like dishwashing, and then I started like.
So you're a dishwasher in the share house
Look at that, eh?
with a 5-year-old, bro. You might as well exit life,
bro.
to be honest.
100%, bro. 100%. That's exactly that. Yeah, man. Like, come to think about it. Yeah.
Were you training at that point?
Not seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what looking back, what was gym to you then? Just something you do every now and then to just get to have a little release?
Yeah. It wasn't even that. It was like trying to look like a solid guy in the mirror.
Fuck.
It wasn't even about. I didn't even know about the mental benefits of it.
True. A little bit of like ego, I guess. Some sort of confidence.
Yeah. 100%.
Something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what sparked the change? Like, because obviously there was something that happened that created a cascading effect that led to you leaving however you left and your rise up from there. What was it that sparked the change for you?
It was being alone in that house and seeing my like life fall apart.
So you almost were like forced to face it unwillingly.
Yeah. And then that's why like, I'll say to this day, like that gym saved my life, because that was the only thing that felt like it took me away from what was going on. It made me feel like fuck, you're actually not like a loser, like man, it's just funny that you put that, like, yeah, I was a fucking dishwasher, broken family, like that's the only thing that made me feel like.
And you're like mid-20s at this point too.
Yeah,
as
bro.
well, yeah?
Yeah, like already going through that crisis of
And
like,
you'll be seeing other people on fucking online like living it up.
having
Goals
families and shit like that, and like holidays and shit. And I'm sitting in that, bro. And then, that's the only thing that made me not feel like a loser.
In this 9 to 10 months, did you meet Jen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you meet Jen while you're in the lowest, or were you already starting to come up out of it?
Or just starting to come up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start to come up, and I think it's good to bring Jen into this. Knowing you bring absolutely nothing to the table.
Oh shit.
How was that for you to jump on a dating app? Were you just trying to smash, or like what was your intention?
The dating app, like I was trying to smash and I was trying to escape how I was feeling.
Of course. And then you got hit with something else.
Yeah. But that's the funny thing, bro. When Jen came into the picture, Jen's my wife. When she came into the picture, she was I didn't approach her with that intention. I didn't approach her with that energy. I wasn't actually trying to smash. I wasn't trying to escape. I was trying to like connect, bro. I wanted someone to like, because in her profile it said that she had a kid.
Someone to feel your pain with you.
Yeah, bro.
Resonate,
you're a single parent. I'm a single parent. Fuck, let's get together because this shit is fucked at the moment.
100%.
Yeah.
Cool. So you met Jen at this point. Obviously, then she probably would have had in her own way an influence on your rise because now you almost have like you're not feeling as alone in this. There's another person. Obviously, you both have children that are similar age. How many days apart on birthday? 1 day apart. So you both have children the same age, 1 day apart. Fucking crazy, right? That itself must have blown you guys' mind. What was it like? Because again, like, man, like even for me, right? You meet people, you think it's the one, etc., and then you actually found your one, right? What was that like in the beginning? Did you know in the beginning? Is it like, what does the one look like in the beginning? If I ask you that,
It's funny, man. Like when I saw her dating profile, and I've told her this, like I'm not her normal type and she's not my normal type. So it wasn't this physical thing that jumped out of the phone and was like, wow, look at this shit.
Yeah.
There was this weird, like deeper internal, what's
Call?
it called? Like curiosity. Yeah, curiosity that was like, and I said it even in my wedding vows, like, man, there's something about this girl. I don't know what it is, but there's something telling me to like go after it.
were you scared?
To meet up with her?
Scared as in scared of that feeling? Like, did that feeling scare you because you were
wasn't
protected?
scary. It was more like curious. It was
Curiosity, like
what the
almost
fuck
like
is
an
this shit?
excitement.
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
subtle
What is
way?
this? What is? It's like that's what was dancing inside of me. Like, what is this? What is this feeling? Why am I so intrigued?
Yeah.
Why is my intrigue up there?
You're not having to force the feeling, but the feeling is almost forcing you in an essence.
100%. That's what it is. Yeah,
I see. Okay, cool. So Jen comes in the picture. Do you notice that when this feeling and this influence of this person is in your life, did that only just start to propel you upwards even further, faster?
Yeah.
Did you feel like you had almost like more of a reason?
Yeah, 100%. It's almost like I don't like using the word like complete, but it's like she built me. You know, she just kind of reflected parts of me that I couldn't see, or I kind of knew was there, but I didn't know how to like, you know, tap into.
Did you ever have like, so in this coming out of this low state then, right? And we're going to talk about now your rise up and like finding your purpose and what is purpose, and purpose might have evolved. Did you ever have a fear that this person would leave you?
Wow.
Like while you're just building up and like
Nah.
what happens if she leaves?
No.
Wow.
Well, there was one little moment where she kind of like,
course.
she kind of, what's it called? Distanced herself.
Was that when you fucked up or was it
Nah,
like
this was because like my ex was still kind of in the picture.
Okay.
And that's the thing. It's not like, you know, you meet this person and then the whole past is cut off and then it's like fucking.
There's a
you know,
process there.
There's like riding into the sunset. It's like, man, there's still past ties. There's still bullshit that, you know, I'm dealing with my ex. But she was there for it all, you know?
Wow.
And then like,
and vice versa, I guess.
yeah. And man, when you've been together with someone for like 12 years, there's gonna be some strong fucking links in there. And the moment, like there was a moment where I was like, wow, I don't feel like that is the link anymore. Like this is the link. Like Jen is the link.
Oh wow.
You know,
It's
so-
almost like this.
Yeah. And it was like, nah, like this is the way. Like
Interesting.
this is the way I gotta go. Yeah.
It's crazy how it leads you. It's almost like you're not making the decisions. It's like being it's unfolding.
Yeah, it
right?
really is, bro. It really
Crazy.
is. Yeah, it is.
Cool. So Jen comes into your life. There's this new light. There's this new path. You're already starting to come up. And it's almost like as you started to open yourself back up and things start happening for you, you attract the same person to almost reciprocate and reflect that. At this point, what's your main driver? It's almost like, it sounds like you had started to find your purpose, whether you knew it to be purpose or not. If you look back now, what was your purpose at that point? And then where did the next sort of like, where did you go to from the share house based on that?
Yeah. I think my purpose at that point was, man, just myself, like to get myself out of that hole. And then as I did that, you know, I started realizing like how I got out of that hole. Yeah, Jen was an addition to it and she pulled me to certain heights. but it was the process of the gym, bro. It was like me not fucking like being my same old lazy self, undisciplined self, giving into my excuses, to then make this transformation and attract all these things. And then my purpose was like, fuck, I need to give that back to people. And that's why, like, man, my business and the way I like portray like this fitness coaching side of things, even though I jump on stage, bro, like it's I don't portray that. Like I don't, it's so much deeper than the physical, because it pulled me out of that hole. And then that's when I knew, like, my purpose has to be, you don't have to be in a hole, but just a total transformation of like self,
Yeah, awesome. I think this is a good way to talk about no one really talks about this. Like, I feel like the definition of a man, what even is it? I feel like the natural pressures of a man to show up and provide, even just learning for me, like providing as a man is not just financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, etc. There's so many elements of it, and it's never really going to be perfect. Like very rarely you could probably argue that you're going to be a man that provides on all fronts. And even as a guy that's sort of like been in and out of relationships at 36 now, you sort of think you have to be able to provide on all fronts before you find your person in an essence, right? But fuck, dishwashing and like you find your person.
That guy was out, bro. That guy was down and out.
Exactly. But there was obviously some sort of element in you that you were still a man for her to sense that in you, and even like want to nurture you to see the man that you are, not just the man that you're going to become and dating for potential, but there's almost like a grounding of who you are, right? So if I ask you just a question and we'll go deeper into this, what do you believe now is the definition of a man?
The definition of a man, that's a huge question. I can only give my like personal definition.
Yeah, because I guess it changes every time. Yeah. So in this season, as a 35-year-old with all of the story that we've just said, and like what you see on social media and what you talk about and how you show up for your family and finances and what you're realizing, based on that, what do you believe is your definition of a man in 2025 or 2026?
Yeah, I think is a person that's able to handle like the situations that are placed in front of him. So whether it be financial, whether it be, providing a space for your wife because you have done the work on yourself to be able to make her feel safe and to make your kids feel safe and your kids feel loved. I feel like you need to be a energy and just a presence, bro, that like is able to handle shit. Like just handle shit. Like I just know so many relationships where people can't open up about themselves because, they don't believe their partner is ready to handle that shit. They can't unload onto their man because their man is so fragile, and and it's like, and then like he just can't handle that shit. So like, there's a mix of masculine energy and understanding feminine energy and understanding how to like, not cradle it, but fucking like work with it. Not just bring your fucking your not meatheadedness, but you know what I'm saying? Like I think it's a deeper.
It's a dance night rather than like a fucking forced chess game.
Yeah. Like bringing every situation, your typical man, hard-headed, like logical thinking, brain kind of approach. We need to be able to like adapt and adjust, bro. I feel like we have to evolve into that, because if you just keep bringing the same energy to the, situations, we feel separated.
Yeah, I feel you. I've experienced that on many fronts. That being said, right? So if that's like the definition of a man, to be able to, have a sense of self-purpose and self-love, that you're working on yourself so that you can hold this space. And just, I realize more and more how important it is for a female to feel safe. Because if they don't feel safe, they're not in their feminine. Mm-hmm. They can't express, they can't say whatever, they can't unload or offload. And even sometimes, if a man is too much in his feelings, he'll look at that offload as an attack. And I've been guilty of that, where it's like, why are you coming at me with this? And then they don't feel safe, right? They just wanted to express and almost just vent. That being said, how much does dynamics come into play? Like, because I've even felt, sometimes for me, going into certain relationships, I try to create, it's almost like my safety, the safety that I'm trying to create or give is not reciprocated as safety on their end or received. So how would you think dynamics and like relationship dynamics come into play when it comes to like a naturally, you know, flowy relationship?
Yeah. There's a deep like dynamic of am I enabling this by, you know, am I enabling this with trying to understand it too much instead of just stepping into my masculine and being like, man, you need to sort your shit out. You know, like that's the dance I'm saying. It's like if someone's actually like, you know, let's say they're hurt or they just want to vent, and you come out with like, just sort your shit out. It's the wrong place to do it. But if there's, do you know what I'm saying? Like if there's shit that they're not dealing with, and they need to hear it, and then you're like, you kind of enable it with like trying to like understand feminine energy. Then it becomes this like, you know,
like an off balance. Like,
yeah.
It's almost like there's not one answer, you know. It's actually
that's what I literally feel. It's like knowing when to tap into this, knowing when to. It's like knowing when to push and knowing when to like let go and allow.
And I think that's where the dynamic is when you're finding yourself walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
Like there's been times where I know I need to say, you just need to sort your shit out, but you're scared. And it comes back to maybe my things I need to work on, like in the past at least, that I'll be scared to say it because they might leave if I say it.
Yeah.
And then this whole event trying to keep them, which is already the fucking wrong fucking approach, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever felt cautious on saying certain things that if they may leave, like do you have those abandonment things in you or not necessarily?
I would be cautious if I can read the state they're in. So if they're in a certain state, then there's a certain filter that you gotta like be aware of. So if they're like broken down, emotional, hormonal, like man, that's not the time to be like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Read it, hard it up.
Yeah. You need to read that room and understand like, okay, that's not a time for me to bring my masculine, energy and approach. But if this is going on for 3 months, 4 months, this is not a state. This is like this is a trait, and this is a trait. And
that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. that came through me. But yeah, when you start noticing as a trait, that's when I feel like it needs to be caught.
That's fucking huge because then you are choosing. It's almost like it's a choice at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then it almost goes even deeper. If you're trying to build like a life with that person, your traits become your kids' traits.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. And then for the love of your children, you have to address the trait.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's scary. Crazy. With where you see this whole masculine, feminine energy going on social media, before we take another turn to just close that loop off, where do you see it's going? What are you sort of worried about in terms of where it's going? And therefore, how are you sort of showing up to maybe create the influence that you want to see?
Yeah, like I know that it went down this like toxic masculinity path.
And then all the men became very like feely, which is healthy, but
yeah. Like the Andrew Tates, like some of the stuff he says it's understandable. But
you're gonna get clipped on this bit.
Yeah, and then like, boom, viral, fuck this guy. But what's it called? It's like there's a certain positive to that because it's telling people to be like stronger. We need to be like stronger men, in my opinion. I feel like even if you look at studies, bro, like masculinity, well, that's not really a measurement, but just the measurement of teenage boys and how they look at females these days, it's like dropping, So that means there's something happening inside of the men that they're not even like attracted to females that much anymore. But I want to see it go in a path of like, man, it's cool to fucking love your wife, but still be like a disciplined, like solid motherfucker. Like, you don't take shit, but it's still cool.
This division, it's true. There's this division where I even see the like 23, 24-year-olds. There's just like groups of men clicking with men and they're saying like, fuck females. Lock in, bro.
Yeah,
true, but it should be like a union where it's like the Bonnie and Clyde type shit.
100%, 100%. That's exactly where what I would like it to go to because you can get into the state where it's like, yeah, fuck the female, like, you know, like let's just lock in with the boys and shit like that. But then, you know, it's not it's not a union. We're separating ourselves from each other, and you know, that's not going to lead to.
Yeah. It's funny as I was gonna, bro. This is hitting me. By the way, it's finishing. As I pour another drink, I was gonna say, what role does substances, addiction, dopamine have in all of this? Because I can see the guys that, let's just say, men that are disconnected. They're disconnected with themselves ultimately, because I feel like if you're connected with yourself and you're connected with your heart, you're open-minded, you're open-hearted, and therefore you're curious, and then you're open to hear the other side, the other gender, connect with them, etc. But I can see it's like there's these hustle culture men on one side that are just locked in with the boys, and then there's these other guys where they're not locked in with anything, and they just substance is their escapism, and they just need a drink all the time, or they need to smoke every time, or they need to scroll every time. Man, what's the solution?
Wow. I feel like I remember reading this quote. I don't know who it was from, but it was about substances, and it was like, are you using substances to escape, or are you using them to expand? And I feel like for me personally, like I thought earlier on, I stopped everything and I was like fully on this gym path.
Is that the thing you sort of sent me with Rob the Bank as well? And similar,
yeah. And that kind of what's it called? Reinforced the quote like that I read. But yeah, I went on this full like sober, didn't touch
monk
anything.
Mode.
Yeah, monk mode, like full like meditation. And then I thought like, yeah, that part of my life is gone. And then, you know, as I got older, I thought I wouldn't want to go back into this. But then I realized like, not that it's part of me, but it still intrigues me because it expands me, you know, because if I take, you know, like a certain drink, my nervous system calms down, and then it's different. It changes my behavior,
yes.
You know, and if it's in a positive way, I like to explore that. If it's in a negative way, which I feel is a trap, you know, and you're trying to escape, if you're trying to escape, already your behavior has changed into like a negative pathway. But I feel like, man, if this expands you, you're not prepping for a show. Because
Sorry, Brandon.
Sorry, Brandon. Once I'm on prep, this is gone. But yeah, like, you know, you're just living your life. If this expands you and you've got a control on it, I don't see the problem, bro. You know, like, if it's a doorway for you to start creating bad behaviors and bad decisions, then probably not the best thing to do. But if this expands you, it calms you down, you know, you're not in a situation where you can't have any alcohol because it'll affect your gains if you're prepping for a show or whatever. I don't see the problem, man. And that was hard for me to accept, bro, because I thought if I'm going to be this fitness coach and I'm going to jump on stage, like, this doesn't go with that theme. But it's like, fuck, man, you just choose your own theme, you know, and choose what works for you. Because
I think you taught me that as well. Like, you would have noticed early accelerator. I really thought like I just really had to lock in, which you do. But I thought like, I guess I noticed it was unhealthy, where forms of escapism, ironically speaking, you know, not just alcohol. Like, I was looking to escape through entrepreneurship or success, and I thought it would give me something to make me happy. And I was very anti. Like, I remember coming from Melbourne, and, you know, we had like a little bit of a clash of like, we shouldn't be drinking, we shouldn't be partying. But that really unlocked, and I just had to go through shit. I had to go through relationship breakup, another relationship breakup, to realize a few things. It's just like, life is so short. What is the definition of happiness? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Yeah, man. And even just like going deeper into like substances and like opening up and feeling yourself. I think it was just a fear of feeling what I'm feeling, to be honest.
Yeah.
And as life sort of put me in positions to feel what I'm actually feeling, you realize it's fucking liberating. It hurts because you got a sort of feelings you go through. And if there's a lot of grief and, you know, deep longing, you got to feel almost the other side of that blade. But you become the man on the other side of that blade too. And then you actually realize you bring so much more value to not just everything you do, but the people that you love, etc. So, man, this episode so far, we've talked about a lot of the past and up till now. How do you feel? So I turned 36 yesterday or maybe the day before, but it's crazy. I say this in my stories. Like, I feel like I've always had this thing where at 21, I was thinking, okay, I'm 25. At 25, I got to, and then at 25, I remember I wrote goals, 24th of January, 2015, I wrote who I am at 30. And then at 30, I wrote on the board who I am at 32 and then who I'm at 35, blah, blah, blah. And then when I turned 35, I'm like, okay, who am I at 40? The weirdest thing, and I think it's just with how life has unfolded, when I turned 36, I felt like I turned 21. And it's like, I'm not gunning to go anywhere now, but I'm just seeing how life is so unpredictable. I feel like there's so much time ahead of me rather than time getting less. So for you, man, like looking forward, how do you see it? You're going to be 36 next year. Then you got a runway to 40. Where's your mind at moving forward? How would you answer that question?
Yeah, man. Putting it like that, like it's weird, bro. I think it was just this year. I've never thought so far as like what is my life going to be like in my 60s and 70s, you know? I've actually had thoughts like that, you know? I think it's after I went to Ireland, spent it with my family. Then I just started realizing, man, fuck, life goes like that, you know? And here's my mum, like she's so old and we're like in these fucking random
How old is
hills.
she?
She's about 70.
Your mom's 72?
Yeah, something like that. No,
Wow,
maybe,
that's a good bro.
maybe it's about 68.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
my
maybe
dad must
high
be like
60s.
90
Sorry.
did.
Sorry, mum. Sorry, mum.
I'm gonna say this in Kelly. Yeah.
But man, I was watching it and it's like I think I see these situations through like my childhood eyes sometimes. And man, when I was in these random fucking hills in Ireland, I was just looking at my mum, old, with my brother I haven't seen in a while. Then I like pictured myself, man, fuck, this is gonna be me soon, and my kids are gonna be here, you know. So the way I see it moving forward is like I see my business and stuff like, yeah, it's gonna expand, it's gonna grow, but I see my family just stack memories, bro, you know? Like that's where I'm really going for. And obviously it takes things for that to happen, which is making money and stuff like that. But personally in my heart, bro, it's like I just see a whole bunch of memories, a whole bunch of present moments, you know, filled.
That's all that matters, eh?
Yeah, bro. At the end of the day, that's like really my soul's purpose. Yes, I want to help people and impact as much people as I can, but I just want like happy family moments.
Fuck. Sort of happily fuck. That Hennessy talking, eh? What's shit up to?
Hey, shit, that's gonna have a suit. That's it, bro. I just, you know, and those memories look like bigger and bigger, you know, which means I have to become bigger and bigger.
It's crazy as you say that. I get two feelings. I won't go too deep into this because of the tangent, but like I get a feeling of like that's what life is all about. But also I get this like almost this deep sadness of like, fuck, it's so short. We don't have much of it. Like think of all the memories that have already passed, you know?
That's how I felt in Ireland, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because I'm like, fuck, my mom's like high 60s, you know, like this is her grandkids, you know? And like, it was like, man, that happened like that. You know, who am I to say that it's not going to happen like that to me? You know, like
Which it is.
Yeah, which it is. It's in it. So it's like, yeah, I'm just like I said, bro. I've been looking at things. I've been looking at moments these days like they're memories.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna look back on this. Like and when I attach that lens, bro, I just like I sink into the present moment and just appreciate it all, eh?
Awesome. I got a really good way to close this out. 4 questions, all on a similar thing, but now that we're at the state and it's flowing and the alcohol's a bit in it, I don't know about you, but fuck, it's hitting me, right? Is it hitting me?
I'm trying to write it the best, bro. These cameras and shit, I'm trying to write it.
All right. So there's 4 things I want you to say, right? And we'll use this moment to really say it. If you could say anything to Polynesians, just like our people, our brown, like the Brown brothers, what do you feel like everyone needs to hear? Like, what do you think polys need to hear firstly?
Man, we are so gifted. Like, we are really, really gifted. I always looked at us, even when I was a kid, And I was almost looking at us separated because I was half of what you are. You know, I was half a Polynesian, and I was like, man, these guys are fucking strong. They're cool. They're like, they have so many traits. And I feel like, man, once we understand discipline, once we understand how to get our mind right, how to get our emotional intelligence up, we'll fucking take over the world, bro. Like we're blessed, bro. You know, and it's just, I don't know if it's a cultural thing. You know, how our ancestors grew up, and, you know, but I feel like, you know, it's a new time, and if we can evolve into this new species of like, man, this is like disciplined, structured mindset, like we'll fucking be unstoppable.
I agree. You know, everyone talks about like African genetics, etc., which is great, but fuck, Polynesian genetics are,
right.
You know, and even as like a culture, like weirdly, the culture even has influenced how I am and how I show up, which has been one of my greatest strengths, is just Polynesian influence, to be honest. So that's our people, right? What would you say to Jen? What does Jen need to hear?
Wow. She really knows I love her. But man, she needs to finally let sink in what we've been telling her for years, is like the potential in her that everybody sees. Like, she got to tap into that shit, you know. Like, she has to let go and man, just understand like it's real, you know. Like, your potential, the way you click with people, your energy is just so like exuberant. Like, you own it, but you don't fully own it, you know. Like, fully own it, and let's fucking grow, baby. Let's make some money.
I'll add to that, right? Like, as much as it's been so long, don't be in a rush. I feel like the rush to let go is what is taking it so long. It's a fucking process. The letting go journey for Jen, for you, will be 5, 10, it'll be the rest of your life. It's a process. And once you realize it's like, oh, fuck, this is actually lifelong, so I can just take the next step. Now the next steps start flowing, right? So that's our people, that's your wife. What would you say to me? What do I need to hear?
Wow.
Moving forward in life.
Yeah. Obviously, coming from my point of view, I don't think I need to say anything on the business front. I would say own your energy. Not business energy, but own the energy of a person, of you, the same way you own your business energy, you know, because that's what's going to attract, you know, these other things, you know, these fucking beautiful women that deserve your time, you know, a relationship that's worthy of your status, bro, you know. And you know your status in the business world, you know, but I feel like deep down inside, it's like you don't own it the same way as
a man.
Yeah. In that aspect of things.
Received.
Yeah.
Ironically, that's been coming through in different people, you know, so receive. Finally, what do you need to tell yourself? What would you deliver to yourself moving forward?
Yeah. What I need to tell myself is like, keep taking action without letting your mind get in the way. I can get into these really, really nice momentous spots where shit's clicking, everything's clicking. I got shit, you know, like coming my way. And then I almost take my foot off the gas, you know, and it's like, I can hear it as it's coming out. It's like, that is the next level when the pressure starts building. And it's like, I start to slow down because I don't want to overwhelm myself. But I feel like if you just keep moving into that, I feel like that's the next level for myself.
100%, bro. To close out, what I would say is, we have defied odds. We continue to defy odds. Bro, if you fucking dishwashing, I keep using that. If you can come 25. From that, man, like I was same as me, man. Like I had absolutely nothing going on, nothing. And I built something, and even that something became the previous nothing, and then some, and then some, and then some. So I've said it a long time ago, bro. Like at 26, I probably felt like everything after that. When I successfully transitioned out of the hood into a gym and had like a stable client base of like white people, like your normal, like society people.
Yeah.
I knew I made it.
Yep.
And I was like, everything from here is a fucking bonus. Because I thought it was either I'm killing myself or I'm doing life in prison. That's it.
Yep.
And fuck, we here, bro. So cheers, bro. DJ, run that music, and we will sign out from here. All right, bro. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to the boys.
To the bottom. Yeah.
My homies.